Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So quite a few of you have been asking when you're going to see the collection. Well, this is the first video in this new series I'm doing. So yeah, this is part one. So with this being part one, this is going to be quite a long-winded video, and the rest of the videos that follow after this will be nothing like this. But there's a lot I have to cover in this one. And I think as the video goes you'll understand why. So I think the best place to start this video is with my inventory, I guess. So what you're going to see today is 21 finished cars in my display, how it sits currently right now. To add on to that, I have, and you're not going to see any of these, I have 16 finished cars waiting to go into the display. I have 11 new in-box kits to build. I have one build, but it's a restoration to do. And as I'm making this video right now, I have 3 new in-box kits on the way to me. And on top of all that, I have 15 other cars here that are all sold to one gentleman. He basically, all the cars over the years that I didn't really want and moved on, he bought them, so I'm just waiting for him to collect. So with all that, I'm in a bit of a mess space wise, so that's why we're going to start increasing the collection display. So it's actually funny for me, any of you viewers who've been with me from the start will now realise that this channel is now doing a full circle to where we started back in 2016, which was basically me showing you my collection display, and I'll go into why I call it a collection display later on in this video. In fact, we'll do that now. Where to start? I like making this video because this is what I'm really into. For me, I can't just have a collection that's not seen by me. I'm not bothered if anyone else sees it, I'm just talking about by me. As you know, I have a genuine passion for the sort of vintage RC buggies, and I love looking at them. Now, well, that's it. I love looking at them, and that's why it's not just about collecting cars, it's about displaying them properly. Now, a lot of people won't understand that, and that's fine. And within the comments of this video, I'm sure there'll be loads of people saying, why don't you just buy Tamiya models instead of RC cars? I don't know. If you see it like that, that's on you. I love RC cars, and the majority of mine don't run now that you're going to see. And probably never will, to be honest. That doesn't mean I haven't run them when I built them and what have you, and I do have other cars that I can run. But once I've kind of finished with a car, I want to keep it as mint as I can, and then it goes on the shelf, and that's my thing. You know, again, I understand a lot of people won't understand that, but again, you know, everyone's different. Right, let's just go over a little bit of past history and how I sort of got to this. So back in 2012, I had my first style of collection. That was obviously 3 standalone Ikea cabinets, and that was a total of 12 cars. Yeah, that was cool. When I was digging the pictures out, I'd kind of forgotten about all that, but yeah, fond memories of that, because I say that was the first time I'd used the Ikea Dtr2 cabinet, and yeah, it served its purpose well. And then I was just going to say then for whatever reason I sold them, but I'll go into that later in this video. Then we roll forward to 2016, and that's when I did it again. So obviously that first one in 2012 had sown the seed of these cabinets, and then it was with a view to collecting more cars and putting cabinets together. Sorry, I've got to look at my notes. So that particular one got to 29 cars, which is a lot of RC cars, and then again sold them. Now in late 2016, I set a new goal for myself, because previously it had all been Tamiya, and the goal was collecting one RC car from each different manufacturer. That was such a cool thing, because obviously you can imagine there were some super rare cars there. Now from memory, I think I got to 12 different manufacturers, but I couldn't find any pictures of that. So this picture I'm showing you now is 10 different manufacturers, and there's some beasts of cars there. So just to give you an idea, that was Marouane, Haribo, Mardev, Tamiya, Schumacher, Arc, Tomy, Temtec, Nico and Yokomo. Some money in those two cabinets, isn't there? But I enjoyed that, I really did. But again, sold them. And then we move on to very late 2017, early 2018. I started which is now my last attempt. So I started collecting Tamiyas again. And that particular one got to 39 cars. That's by far the most RC cars I've ever had. And that was fun watching that collection grow. This picture I'm putting up now was so close to how I wanted that collection to look. I was so happy with that, and I had plans to do more and add to it how it was. So that's the one to beat for me right now. So let's just quickly get on to why I sold them. What I normally say when people ask me that is real life gets in the way, and it generally did, which is really unfortunate. There's a couple of things that are going on here, and I'll give you a few personal things. First up is the financial side of it. If you've got 20, 30, 40 RC cars just for display purposes, and times get a little bit hard and you need a little bit of money, or you fancy a family holiday, you know, whatever the circumstance, you got to fix a car, then, you know, if money's tight, it's hard to justify not kind of selling some collection, if not all of it. You know, as I say, 30, 40 cars, if you base them at 100, 150 quid each, you know, yeah, I don't know what you sat on, 3, 4, 5 grand, you know, so that money, you know, sometimes you need that money. That's not the only reason. I was right in the midst of my alcoholism through that period as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I sold cars to fund my drinking habit. It wasn't that at all. It was just, I was kind of, being an alcoholic, you were kind of up and down a lot. And also, and this is an important thing, I don't know if I've ever spoken about this on the channel. I had a back condition called AS, which stands for ankylosing spondylitis. That basically means that a lot of my spine is fused together. So if you've ever seen me turn to the side to get stuff, you'll notice top of my back is quite arched over. That's just how it is. That's how my back is. I've got a little bit, I think it's about, I can't remember what it is, 55% of my spine is fused, a little bit into my neck and shoulders, and a little bit into my lower, where my bottom is, I don't know. Now the reason I'm telling you this is, one of the side effects from that while you have it, and why I say I haven't got it anymore, is it's finished, it's done what it's going to do, and it's not ever going to get worse, and it'll never come back. But one of the side effects on that was it almost kind of made you mentally almost a little bit bipolar, you know, really high highs and very low lows. And I didn't know that at the time. I only found it out in probably the last 15 months. So obviously if you got kind of severe up and down mood swings because of this back condition, plus the alcoholism, and then general life you know, just in general, then probably no wonder why I've been kind of so up and down with it. But I know I'm not alone. A lot of people, you know, they'll put little collections together and then they sell them and then start again, because that's some of the major fun in this hobby, is the chase of cars and parts, as we all know. So, you know, to me, there's nothing wrong. You've got 20 cars, you sell them all, you've got that money to do what you want with it, and then have a year, 2 years off, and then you go back to it, you know, and start collecting again. That's the ultimate buzz for me anyway. Right, so let's get into the details of this. Now the reason I'm doing this part of the video is because if I just show the collection, there's going to be lots of people in the comments going, what cabinet's that, what shelving's that, what brackets are that. I get that all the time. So on this part 1 video, I'm going to do this segment, and I will not do this again. This is just for me, so I can send people over in the future when they're asking the same questions over and over. I can point them to this video, and I'll put all the information of what I use in my displays. It's going to be, well, I'm going to go through it now. So the first thing I use is Ikea Detolf glass cabinets. Over here right now, they're 89 Canadian dollars each, which is roughly about £50. It's probably the cheapest, or one of the very cheapest options when you're buying a glass cabinet. Some cabinets, obviously, you can get way better ones, but you're paying 250 quid for them. So the Ikea one is kind of a cheap and cheerful version, but you know, at 50 quid, it's still not cheap. Now, sizing wise, if you're just going to get one cabinet and build it correctly, then it's not every RC car you have, and I'm only talking about Tamiya 1/10 RC cars. Not every car's going to fit in there. So something like a Thundershot Terra Scorcher, that will fit in that cabinet, no problem. Even a 112 lunchbox with a bumper on will fit in. But stuff like the Falcon, that will not fit in. The bumper's going to be hitting one of the glass sides. Now, in the past, with certain other cars, I've taken bumpers off, which is not great, but it allows the cars to go in. There's another little trick to give you a little bit more space. You can angle the car, instead of just having it sort of running across the shelf the correct way, you can angle it slightly, and it gives you a little bit more room. So if you are just going to buy one cabinet on its own, be prepared, because not every car's going to fit in there. So the way I got around that is butting two cabinets up together. And then what I do, I just got some basic metal brackets, basically two straps that I put on the top of it, two screws in each one to sort of hold them together at the top. And then this allows me to take the two centre panes of glass out. So you've got two cabinets now with no glass down either side in the middle. Then you can fit whatever car you want in there, including monster trucks. Now, disclaimer time. If you're going to copy this video, then you've got to make sure that when you build it, that it's all safe enough. You know, don't do what I do, and then you put thousands and thousands of pounds of RC cars in this, and it all collapses. You know, you've got to sort of strengthen it yourself. Off the back of that, I've got to say I've never had a problem of anything falling, any cracks, nothing's been damaged ever. Never had any accidents with it. Touch wood, that'll continue. So just on that, obviously you've seen pictures, and I've got 2, 3, 4 cabinets going together. So those middle ones have no glass down both sides. So you are taking a lot of strength out of that. So be very aware of that. Right, next on to the lighting I use. So over here I'm using these Illume 3-pack LED lights, 1.4 watts. Now I get these from Home Depot for roughly about 40 Canadian dollars, so about 23 to 25 pounds. And that's very similar to what I use in the UK ones as well. Now, if you're just using a bog standard IKEA cabinet with the stock shelving, these are absolutely excellent, and there's loads of light from them. But when you start adding extra shelves into that cabinet, be prepared to lose a lot of this light. To have it, if you had a standard one, you put a set of those in, and then you put an extra 3 shelves in between, you would need another set of these to have the same sort of brightness. But I don't do that. I just have 3 in each cabinet, and that's fine for me. So the next thing I do, I add extra shelving into the Ikea Detolf cabinets. Now, a standard one comes with 3 glass shelves, and then your 4th position is on the base of it. So you have 3 shelves. Now, obviously that would only be 4 cars, which would be a complete waste of money. So I kind of double up and put extra shelving in. Now, Ikea you cannot buy shelves separately. I've emailed them loads of times asking if they could get it done, speak to the manufacturer of it, and they're just not interested. So if you're going to go down that route, you need to get acrylic shelves made. So a massive shout out to my friend Adrian, who's just sent me a lot. He's just made these, cut these out for me. So a massive thank you to Adrian. So it's basic acrylic. Obviously do the measurements from the glass yourself. And obviously make sure you've got the right thickness for acrylic, because obviously glass is not going to break, but sorry, bend, but acrylic can. This is, I think this is either 4.5 to 5 mil thick, and then there's no problem with any bowing. When I was in the UK, I can't remember the name of the company, but there's loads of acrylic companies in the UK, and you just used to email them with the sizes, how many you want, and I think it used to come out to around about £5 a shelf. So it's not cheap, but there's nothing else out there you can do, because you can't buy replacement glass ones. And obviously the acrylic is a little bit lighter than the glass ones as well, which is a good thing. Now if you're going to put extra shelves in, you're going to need some brackets to do that. Now these are 3D printed brackets that I've used a lot of, and these come from eBay. Give you a quick price. So 11 Canadian dollars, which are roughly £6, and you get 12 brackets, which gives you enough to do 3 new shelves in between your existing ones. Never had an issue with them. The ones I buy, it sends you a few spare, because every now and again when you press them on, one will crack, but I think that's only happened twice so far, but it does put spares in there. I have used other brackets. The original 3D printing one that I used to use had a nut and bolt through it, so you'd slide it over and then position it and then tighten it up. They used to break all the time. So I was quite happy when I saw someone else was doing this style, and you can adjust them if you want, but generally if you mark it where the shelf goes and then squash it on in position, that ain't moving. They're really good. So the other thing you're going to see is I've got some small acrylic freestore shelving, which my vintage Mortar collection's on. I've got another one here because in the future, as we go with this, I've got a battery collection. I've got even more vintage Mortars. So there's going to be 2 or 3 of these going forward. Now again, these are off eBay. 32 Canadian dollars, which is roughly about 20 to 22 pounds. And again, I think they come from China, but the quality is superb and they're really strong as well. You imagine I've got 5, 10, 15, I think there's 15, 20 vintage Mortars on there. That's quite a lot of weight, and there's no bowing or anything. So yeah, they're awesome. And then what the Mortars are stood on, which are these acrylic stands. Now these are actually, again from eBay, these are Zippo lighter stands. Now 14 Canadian dollars, which is roughly about £8, and that's for 10 of these. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets, but the cheapest chips. So as we go down, if you've not seen my motor collection, you'll see these are absolutely perfect for them. These are also, with 2 of them, perfect to put my vintage batteries across as well, but I've not done that yet. So I think that just about covers everything you're going to see. I hope you appreciate why I'm doing this, as I say, because these questions are asked a lot and I don't want to keep doing it. So when I make my second video on the collection, at least I can link this video, if that makes sense. Right, so now on to showing you the collection as it stands at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll do it in exactly the same format as I did back in 2017. I'm going to start at the top left hand corner and we'll go through each car. I'll give you a little bit of history about it, not part numbers and stuff like that, just what it is and if I've done anything different with it. And then we'll go through them really quickly, and then when I've gone through them all, we'll back off and I'll show you the sort of how the collection display looks right now. Right, so apologies if the camera's moving around and I'm trying a new microphone, so I hope the volume's good. So first car is my TRF-801, and that's the X version, which has now been fitted with the electric conversion. And what a thing that is. Next up is my 114th Days of Thunder tribute truck. Yep, absolutely love that thing. So as you can imagine with those two, there's a lot of weight in there because this truck is heavy. To be honest, the TRF's heavy as well. And then moving on, we have my vintage motor collection as it stands at the moment. I've got a lot to add to that. That's no more Tamiya motors to add, but I've got a few Kyosho and just general vintage brush motors. But yeah, just very, very cool to have. A nose free there, Parma Cyclone, the Demon modified, and the Kyosho Spar 240WS. They're my childhood motors. Got 6 motor boxes as well, which are in a really crappy position, so I'm going to sort that out. Right, moving down. Next up is my Mercedes Clk Gtr Gt car. Beautiful, done in custom sort of Marlboro paintwork, cockpit fitted. Next up is one of your favourites anyway, which is obviously the Porsche 911. This is done in a 959 Tribute. Again, cockpit in there, looks absolutely gorgeous. And then my favourite on-road car I've done to date, which is a Subaru Brz. I'm just mega happy with this one. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. To be honest, that used to be my favourite, but I think I'm liking that more as well now. I've done more detailing on it. But for me, yeah, this thing, just gorgeous. Then moving down, I'll just go down on one knee. So we have my Riri Hotshot. That's actually got vintage wheels and tyres on, which is a little bit crazy. But yeah, we all love a Hotshot. And next to that is my favourite Tamiya RC car. In fact, my favourite vintage RC car of all time, which is obviously the Avanti. And that's got the, what do you call it, hop-up racing wing on it, and matching decals. And that's an original as well. And next up, my Marouane Ninja, which I affectionately call the sexiest RC car of all time. And as you can see, the magazine's in the back. Sorry, that's probably not coming through because it's on glass. That is just one gorgeous car. And then next up, we have my Kyosho Optima Pro. What a thing that is, my friends. And that paint job as well. That is just gorgeous. But for me personally, that's the best vintage Kyosho they ever did. It's beautiful. And then moving back over, my Trf-211 with aftermarket Azeri body set on it. Well, body, but the wing is a rockhopper, I believe, from Penguin. But that's an original Trf-211. Unfortunately, there's a lot of glare on that, so you're not really seeing the paintwork properly. But yeah, that thing is stunning. And then outside of that, we have my brand new built TRF-503 that I built. And that's just gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful thing. And again, full TRF paint job on it. Love that. Oh, it's hard work, this. Next up, we have my crazy full spec Top Force Evolution 2, as I call it. So that's, well, that's just got just about everything on it. It's got all the alloy hop-ups. It's got the Revive RC body set on it. Big bore aeration dampers, full carbon. Spent a lot of money on this one. Sorry if the glare's there, but try to see the paint job on it because it's really, really nice. And then at the side of that, we've got my Tamiya Dinosaur in, well, this, I call this my Trf-211x Tribute Car because basically the Dinosaur came from that car. So I tried to get the wheels roughly the same colour, and I wanted to use the TRF colours, but not in the normal sort of pattern. Some like this, some really hate it. I think it looks superb, if I'm honest. I really like that. And then going across again. So next up is my DFO3. Now this is the MS version. So this is a real nice piece of kit. That's how it comes as standard. That's not a paint job, that's all stickers. The TRF stuff is stickers, I mean. Really nice car, and it runs really well as well. And again, I doubt they'll ever re-re this. So yeah, this is one of my kind of favourites. The standard DF03 I really don't like, but this MS version is just gorgeous. Next up, one of my all-time favourite looking cars, the Bigwig. Now, this is a re-re, but I've changed decals over to make it look like the original. And yeah, I just absolutely adore the Bigwig. And it gets so much hate when you talk about it, but that's just pure 80s Tamiya right there. Moving over, look at this thing. That is my almost 98% finished Tomy Intruder EX. What an uber rare car that is. As you can see, if you know that car, it's got the correct shocks and tyres on now. All the rear's been changed over, it's got proper hubs, the arms are done. That is just one sexy vintage looking car. But its brother, its very slightly younger brother here, the Tomy Intruder, in my opinion, just looks way better. I love this thing, and to have one in this sort of condition is just awesome. Original tyres on it. What a good looking vintage car that is. Don't get me wrong, love the EX, but for me the standard Intruder just wins hands down. Right, last row guys, and then at the bottom we have my monster Beetle. What a thing that is. I do enjoy the monster Beetle. That's ready to run as well. I did the window surrounds in silver instead of black. I just think it looks cool. Got some tyre decals on it just for effect. And yeah, I love that thing. Next to it we have my second MS car, and that's the Dtr2 Ms. Again, that's not paint, that's stickers. And that is one of my favourite running cars. I love the Dtr2 anyway, but just to have the MS version just makes it a little bit special. It's sat on a tub at the moment, so all the wheels are dangling down, which is not a great look for it. But yeah, love that thing. Oh, right. Next up we have my XR311. What a thing that is. Sorry, now with the lights getting a little bit dim down here, so there's a lot of reflection. But I've never run this one, I've just built it. What a thing. Absolutely love the look of that. Yeah, that's very cool. And then finally, we have my Manta Ray. Now, this is a re-re, but this has got the Revive RC full body set on it. It's got every part of the Revive RC body set on it, which is awesome. But I'm actually waiting. I'm going to try fit the Advantage cockpit in it, and I've got some black line detailing tape to put on it, and I've got some, what am I waiting for? Making this video, I'm waiting for the alloy prop shaft and cups and alloy motor mount for it. Look at those wheels, surrounds, turbo wheel. They just look so cool. So I love this thing, but very soon I'm going to make it look a lot better, I hope. Right. So that, my friends, is basically that. Sorry, I'm just going to try to keep this in camera. So that, because I've got cars everywhere, I don't want to zoom out too much. But basically, that is what we're working with right now. And it looks great, don't get me wrong. But I apologise for the lighting down here, because obviously it's not great. I've basically got every light on I can get. But yeah, that's what it looks like right now. And in the second video, it's going to look a lot different. And the third video, oh my word, that's one not to be missed. Right, so phase 2 video will be out soonish. I've got all the bits here to do the next stage of it, and I am really excited about that. So I've got another Ikea DTOF cabinet to go on to the side of what you've just seen. We're going to take the 3 touring cars out. We're going to move those brackets, so instead of having 3 cars, we're going to have a full 4. We're going to fill in the gaps at the bottom. We're going to put an extra car top left hand side, which will make sense, and as I say, an extra cabinet. So that's actually going to allow me, so there'll be 10 new cars going into it, but 3 of those positions are going to where the touring car's worth. It makes sense. So yeah, I'm mega excited about that. It's going to give me 10 new cars in there, which will be buggies, not on-road cars. And then looking forward, after that, phase 3 is the one I'm really excited about, but I don't actually know when that'll be. So that's going to be my on-road collection. So I have to save up and buy 3 more cabinets, but more shelving, more brackets, more lighting. It's not cheap to do this, hence why it takes so long. But those 3 cabinets are going to be all my on-road cars. No idea how many cars I'll be able to fit in and how it's going to work, because on-road cars are a lot longer. So even with the glass panels out, I don't know if you would get 3 on-road cars in a row across 3 cabinets. Might be 2 and a middle one raised, if that makes sense. And I've got, you've seen those 3 cars, and I've got another 7 or 8 finished on road. So I think by the time I get those cabinets, I'm going to have probably 11 or 12 cars to go straight into it. And as I say, I'm really looking forward to that, because I've never had collection display on road. So that's going to be mega cool. And the coolest thing about it all for me is I'm going to move stuff down there. So I'll have the 5 cabinets, but I'm going to do the 3 onto a corner, which I think is going to look superb. But that's a while off yet. And then, to be honest, after that, I have no idea, because I don't know what sort of the space issues are going to be. Hopefully that's going to allow me to be able to make and finish more of my on-road cars to get them in the existing cabinets I've just bought. But I would envisage I need an extra one to go at the side for the buggies. But again, I can't really think about that. You can't. It's hard to sort of visualize it. But yeah, the next video is going to make a huge dent, and it won't be nearly as long-winded as this, I promise. It'll just be the add-ons in the collection. So apologies if this video's dragged on. I don't really care. I can talk about this stuff forever because I love it. So, as always, my friends, thanks for watching my dribble. It's massively appreciated. If anyone's still watching who's new, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell. Why do I always say buzzer? Hit that bell, and that'll give you a notification, and we post 2 or 3 times every week. So, as always, my friends, happy arseeing.